Greetings, everybody. This is the VoidCast. We're just going to be discussing a certain idiot who I personally see doesn't need to be talked about, but apparently he can't keep his mouth shut for a solitary 5 minutes. So we're going to give him what he wants. Quantum TV. A particular case of stupidity, but at this point, I'm surprised he's still even on the fucking platform, because, and we're going to get into reasons why he shouldn't be on the platform anymore, and why I agree with many people that want to see him basically banned again. And if he ban evades again, IP ban his ass. He should get the memo that he shouldn't be doing this shit. But, unfortunately, people prefer Risperdal to reason. And so, what I'm going to do is give you guys reasons why you shouldn't, and I repeat, should never listen to a guy that's basically stupid. Now allow me to elaborate as to the reasons why I see it as it is, for a reason why, yes, I agree that he should be banned. Not just, small-handed, I think he should be banned for X, Y, or Z reasons. It's literally a case of why hasn't this guy been banned? Now, for those of you that are wondering, like, hey, Michael, why are you talking about this guy? What did he do? Well, for starters, let's talk about what he has been doing. And start at the very beginning. Like many YouTubers I've come to know and somewhat ignore on the platform because of the stupidity they do speak, I have rarely seen any drama that YouTube hasn't learned from. Quite frankly, that's saying a lot because I do not care for YouTube drama, and I personally could see YouTube drama as a form of just, you give me what reason why I should participate in this stupid ass fucking team sport bullshit. I'll give you several reasons why I think you're an idiot and you need your credibility fucking revoked. Or at least your credibility card, for that matter. Now, of course, no video would ever be complete, or not complete, without a hint of irony, or a hint of anything for that matter. And quite frankly, I think a lot of people tend to agree. However, there are some that are mentally inclined to sit there and bitch to the end of the universe about why their take, particularly on a popular video game, tends to be just right all the time. Or, for starters, I don't want to hear the words oh, well, you're a scum of the earth, you filthy casual, while also pretending that they are somehow the moral benefactors of, fair use or some shit like that. I couldn't rightly be fucked to give a shit. However, this guy, Quantum, has done some pretty stupid things. And this is coming from somebody who knows stupid from stupid. And believe it or not, some YouTubers, and hell, even Twitch streamers, have their own thoughts of a lot of things. Where Actman and a lot of these people agree is that Quantum is basically the worst offender of basically the entitled YouTuber, in a way. They think that if they get criticized, it's, it's basically as, puerile or dumb, because they shared their opinions and they're entitled to their opinions and so on and so forth. It's just blatant, hypocritical bullshits. I got criticized because I dared sit there because I decided to go and say some really stupid shit on Twitter. Though I don't like Twitter myself because Twitter is just, fuck. Why would you use Twitter, first of all? And second, if you say some stupid shit on Twitter and fail to take responsibility for it, you fucked up somewhere. Like, royally. Like, why haven't you stayed banned on YouTube? It's because he's ban evading, honestly. Though, if it were up to me, he'd be gone in a heartbeat. Unfortunately, I control neither the internet or what it does. And it's why I believe that the internet is, of course, rightfully supposed to stay a little less ban-happy. Of course, I disagreed with a lot of people when the Leafy ban happened. I thought Leafy, if he went from simply just picking on random YouTubers to now talking about stocks and shit on his YouTube channel for, still keeping the semi-volatile sort of clickbaity thumbnails and shit. On one hand, I don't like the idea of clickbait. I think clickbait itself is pretty frickin' stupid. However, reasonable minds may differ, and reasonable minds differ they have. And he ended up getting banned, and I personally chalk it up to him not being really... he changes for the sake of making sure the algorithm doesn't pick up, or picks up instead of just his behavior, which changed drastically from the 2016 era Leafy to now it's just talking about random bullshit. Back to the topic, though. Quantum is basically what everybody considered Leafy to be from 2016. A toxic bully who basically just reeks of the 2016 era type bullshit of just not taking responsibility for your actions. Surprising to no one, he also doubles down on his horrid takes on a game that, personally, I don't care for. It's just, I don't care for it because I don't care for it. I'm not a Souls fan. I am somebody that genuinely thinks that Souls needs to stick, that enjoys the fact that Souls has a fan base, but I agree at times it can be much. And that's putting it nicely. However, Quantum TV is not absolved from this bullshit. Just because he's a Souls hater doesn't mean he gets to basically say whatever the fuck he says. And evading a ban to boot. Now, some minds may differ on what his punishment should be, but the overall theme of it is get this man off of our platform and make damn sure that he stays gone. And I agree. I agree more so with Quantum than I agree more so with banning Quantum than I did with Leafy. And again, that's indicative of just me thinking that banning people for the wrong reasons tends to sour the idea of YouTube, which used to be broadcast yourself and is now just cheat Netflix in a way. But then you've got people like Quantum, who just originally started off as a YouTube channel dedicated to the critique of TVs. How that makes sense, I have no clue. You'd have to ask the man behind the damn channel. However, as I will continue to note, that Risperdal to reason seems to be the biggest drug out there. And I should know, I've been a man who's gotten into the pony salt addiction, i.e. the PlayStation fanboy addiction. I personally am not a fanboy of anything, really. I think fanboys are somewhat of a disaster while also being somewhat good to have your own dedicated fan base. But the fanboys are the toxic sorts. With PlayStation, they'll continuously froth at the mouth about graphics, while Microsoft or the, as the PlayStation fanboys like to call, Xbots, are more focused on gameplay, stuff that normal gamers would consider to be the top priority, while also, flipping a bird at the PlayStation fanboys for even saying that, oh, how dare, shit like, graphics don't mean everything. Of course, and they're surmising, yes, they're correct. Graphics doesn't mean it's bad or good, it just means it looks pretty. So what if my game looks pretty? Plenty of games with even the minimum of graphics setups tend to look absolutely beautimous. And yes, I will use that word from now on. That's a trademark of the McCraven Foundation. Anywho. As then we see a lot of people debate on accessibility. Souls games, I think the only thing you could do to fix a Souls game is to provide things like gear that is absolutely broken. Which is why I seriously think anything in co-op should not be mitigated for the sake of the PvP aspect of any game. I mean, I'm literally thinking about making a video entitled My Thoughts on Nerfs in anything PvE. And people want... one of the main things I've critiqued any PvE experience, whether it be Call of Duty Zombies or Elden Ring or anything like that, is why nerf things that no player is going to really bitch about unless they really want to see people, unless they are the masochistic type and wanting a game to get increasingly difficult to use a specific setup or weapon or build or something like along those matters. That's where I disagree with plenty. And oh boy, don't even get me started on progression systems in video games, because it went from simple levels to now battle passes and other shit. Though I think the Battle Pass system is a good addition to any game, really, I also notice it tends to have its faults too. Where progression can be halted due to a specific system. Oh, hello there, skill-based matchmaking. I thought I wouldn't see you again in a millennium. What the fuck are you doing back in this game? I thought you were dead. Or like that Scarlet Witch meme of, you took everything from me. I don't even know who you are. It really does put a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths to know that a company who, I don't know, it surprised a lot of people when Activision went basically quiet when everything came out about it. I'm looking at you, Bobby Kotick, spawn of Satan. Now, of course, whether a lot of you think that game companies should include some form of difficulty tweak to at least mitigate some of the shit that mostly difficult games, like, again, Elden Ring, or fucking Resident Evil, I personally see it as one thing: unwanted bitching.
Not exaggerating. Straight up.
Now, let us start with this wonderful gentleman right here named Review Tech USA, who has been getting a lot of this idiot named Quantum TV's regrettable standards. Actually, let's start at the very beginning. Which,
days ago. That is total nonsense, and if anyone wants proof of that, the video is enough in and of itself. But I also uploaded 2 hours ago a video proving its fair use with case study research to prove it, along with sightings from the UK government website also proving it. For those of you just watching this video, here's the UK government's website's page regarding fair use, or fair dealing as it's named in the UK, where unsurprisingly, essentially blatantly describes the video as being fair use. So without further delay, I'll let the fun begin. There's a decent amount of things you could legitimately criticize Elden Ring for, whether it be the bad performance across most PCs due to real-time shader compilation issues that cause frame timing stuttering no matter what settings you set the game to, or the terrible settings menus, like I did in my review for the game, where I myself couldn't recommend the game based on the insane amount of performance issues I encountered on a system with an RTX 3070 and a Ryzen 9 5900X. However, the video we will be looking at today doesn't criticize the game for any of that in its majority, but instead goes down the illegitimate criticisms of Souls-like games route, via flat out spreading false information repeatedly about the game, and all round being incredibly misinformed when it comes to Elden Ring, because it's too hard and my easy mode. No matter what it is, if a game even remotely challenges someone, you will end up finding people like the guy we'll be looking at today, crying about it because God forbid a modern AAA title doesn't baby you through everything. So without further delay, let's get into this insanely bad critique of Elden Ring.
So, today I'll be giving you guys a review of Elden Ring. No spoilers and none of that other nonsense, and we're going to get straight to the point. Essentially, don't buy this game. That's the easy answer. Now, if you want the long answer, stay until the end and you will find out. Essentially, in a nutshell though, the name of the game should not be called Elden Ring. The name of the game should be called You Died.
Funny, right?
You know what? I genuinely believe we have finally found the peak of comedy. I have never laughed harder at a single joke in my entire life. Jimmy Carr and Dave Chappelle have got absolutely nothing on this man. Comedy will never be the same after hearing that brilliant piece of comedy. But in all seriousness, what the actual fuck did you expect to do when playing a From Software game? A studio notorious for the difficulty of their titles. I refuse to believe you hadn't heard of titles like Dark Souls and Sekiro Shadow Dice twice before buying Elden Ring. Sure, if you were dying in Elden Ring due to bugs and actual issues with the game, then I could understand you complaining about it. However, that isn't the reasoning behind it. Based on what you say later on, you are just bad at the game and refuse to try and get better, wanting the game to baby you instead.
Again and again and again. Because that's all you're really going to spend most of your time doing. You're going to die.
Now, on one hand, I'm not a person that plays Dark Souls. I couldn't even begin to give the slight beginnings of a shit about this game. It just piqued my curiosity hearing how many idiots sat there and said, oh, well, it's too hard, it's this, it's that, it's that, it's that, it's that, it's whatever the fuck that is. But it just straight up, it's one of the dumbest things I'll ever hear is it should have a difficulty setting. Now, before you ask, why is that bad? Allow me to explain. You'd have to do a lot of reworking, a lot of changes to a game because herder the game's too hard, or herder the I can't get past this certain level, or herder, fucking the game's bad, or something like that. Now, if you were talking about Call of Duty, fuck yeah, it's gone fucking from good to okay to bad to downright what to now just straight up unfucking playable. Specifically the multiplayer. And a multitude of campaigns that I've played, they're alright. Nothing really groundbreakingly new or something that I can differentiate from the others. All campaigns are good in Call of Duty. The only ones that aren't good are Ghosts and Infinite Warfare, because I've never really played either of them because I just didn't give a fuck.
Because the game has no easy difficulty.
Wrong.
That is absolutely
Wrong.
proved over and over again.
Wrong.
How the hell has my man not seen the shit tons of memes about how easy magic makes this game? If you are lazy and do not want to spend time to get good at this game, then just go fucking make a magic build. It's not rocket science. This is a well-known staple of From Software games. All of them, with the exception of Sekiro, have some form of what you would consider an easy mode, aka magic. You're just not explicitly told it's an easy mode, and I must apologize over the fact you need to figure out how to make the game easier instead of the game babying you through literally every single aspect. If you want a video game which does baby you through every single minute detail, then just go play a PlayStation exclusive or...
Okay, yeah, that I can agree with, because recently it went from, oh, we're not going to hold your hand through the entire experience, to now, yes. And I'd say the same with some Xbox exclusives. Halo's not that way, neither is Gears of War. Psychonauts 2 had, yes, that, a lot of settings that just, and mainly I used them because I didn't feel like playing the game normally. I wanted to play it for the story first, then just replay the game to then try and master the difficulty. Same thing with another game that I've been playing, Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning. I wanted to play the game for the story first, play it for the difficulty second. First playthrough, just worry about story. Worry about, beating the bricks off of enemies to then get to the end of the story. Then you've got games like earlier games when gaming was starting out, even though easy modes had some form of challenge to it.
Or a Gears of War title, not a From Software title, because let's be honest here, that's exactly what you're really complaining about here, and it's mainly due to the fact you have no idea what you're talking about, which you prove relentlessly throughout this video of yours.
And frankly is extremely hard, and Bandai Namco likes to do this a lot in a lot of their games where they make it just
Yeah, he doesn't know, he didn't get the he didn't get the development team right. He said Bandai Namco. I'm sorry, that's the one behind Code Vein, not Souls games. Because From Software, and it even should say it in the freaking opening, intro scene, if you even own the fucking game.
insanely difficult, and the difficulty spikes when you get to certain bosses. It's so unfair that you'll find yourself spending so many hours losing time away from your life.
Again, that isn't necessarily true. All you have to do to make bosses easier is a very common trope in all open world games, and it's called go out and explore the map, then come back stronger and at the appropriate level to fight said boss. I have the feeling the boss he's on about here is either Radahn or Margit, since those are the two bosses with major recommended level gaps from the last boss. You aren't meant to go straight to Margit, and this is something I think was a mistake From Software's part, because as soon as I left the opening area I realized a significant amount of people would frankly be way too stupid to realize you aren't meant to go and find him straight away. Radahn has the same quote-unquote issue, as I beat the previous boss at level 55, however if you simply do basic research, aka one Google search, you'll realize enemies do have recommended levels, and so do areas of the map. They are merely just hidden to increase difficulty, and Radahn for example should be fought around level 70 to level 80, so the main issue you're having here isn't a problem with the game, but again a problem with you.
So I would say this game is for somebody who really is looking for a sandbox. They have no family, no friends, no life, and they have literally thousands of hours to grind away on it.
Yeah, that's not hostile at all. Thousands of hours to grind away for their life. It pisses me off that I know about this, that I hear about this every fucking time. It's just, it's stupid. It really is.
On a game to level up enough so that they don't end up losing.
I can straight up taste the salt pouring through my screen.
Hold on. Just let me remove that. We could just go through here.
Listening to this guy mold over a game, requiring him to literally just get good. All it requires is the exact same thing as every open world game. Go out and explore before trying to take on a difficult boss. It obviously doesn't take thousands of hours to beat the game. That would be more than multiple playthroughs, my guy. I mean, holy shit, wait until this guy finds out another amazing feature in the game that makes it significantly easier. Co-op. Like, holy shit. It's almost like having a magic build and playing with friends would give you an easy mode. Now think about that for a second. The guy so salty over dying in a video game where it's designed for you to die a lot is telling people who play it they have no life or friends, when the second main reason he's struggling is because he isn't playing with friends.
Because I tell you one thing about this game that's not really a spoiler but something you should know. When you die, you lose everything you collected. Everything. That means you start over, so leveling up is extremely hard because of the nature of the game and its difficulty level, and it's not fun. There is nothing fun about this game for somebody who is new to the franchise.
Mr. Madison, what you've just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought? Everyone in this room.
And this is why he lost his credibility and why he's trying so desperately hard to protect his image. And just so we all know, just so you all know, the next group of videos that I will show you all is just, it's him being severely, like, the scum of the earth. Because not only has this guy blatantly abused copyright, not only has Quantum done that, he's also said some very absolutely horrid things about a community that, even though I do not care for, I do not particularly promote, quite frankly, I'm part of the people that I don't detract from it. I don't get mad at it. I just genuinely do not care. Because no matter the incoherent ramblings of an idiot, quite frankly, I'm part of the people that I don't detract from it. I don't get mad at it. I just genuinely do not care. Because no matter the incoherent ramblings of an idiot, And so, anytime I hear this, oh, well, he's a bad person. No shit, he's a bad fucking person. This guy makes fucking, normal people that they're just like, hey, don't teach this stuff to, certain people. It's just, it pisses me off. It makes me annoyed. And it's like, it's basically somebody who's, this guy is basically worse. Like, at least some people are like, hey, don't force this, don't force this shit down my throat. Him? No, he will wish death upon somebody for even being a part of these communities that are basically notorious for just for just being a part of Twitter. And though I do not agree with people that he's been attacking, he ain't a part of my fucking circle. Fuck no. That guy is a bitch. A piece of shit. Somebody who, quite frankly, I wouldn't bat an eye if he got banned off of YouTube. I wouldn't fight for his right to be on YouTube. Because he doesn't deserve that shit. And he makes everybody who's even remotely in the same sort of agreement that some of the shit shouldn't be forced down our throats on a daily basis, then he's basically making guys like, he's basically making everybody that, in favor of, like, the whole Florida shit. I don't pay attention to it because I'm in Montana. I'm not a part of Florida, nor do I give a shit. And people that keep bitching and complaining about it are just sharing dishonest takes about it. Because they don't like it when their things being questioned. And quite frankly, I don't care. It ain't my cup of tea. Why the fuck should I care when really it's not my problem? But it will be your problem. No, it ain't. And if it was, why the fuck did nobody tell me about it? Simply because it ain't. It ain't my problem. But then you've got, and this is why I don't like Quantum. He represents everything that's wrong with the side of people that just don't give a shit. And it's quite frankly the worst end of this, weighted fuckmire of a spectrum. Give me a second. Alright, Jurassic. Welcome to the VoidCast.
Hello there.
God damn it, you had to pull an Obi-Wan Kenobi, didn't you?
Yes.
Anyways. I take it you know what the topic is going to be about?
I have no fucking clue.
Okay, so I take it you're looking at the stream right now, right?
Nah. I'm do it. Oh.
I return!
Oh. Isn't that dude that like there? Lobby Shenanigans 6.
Lobby Shenanigans 6. Yes. But
Yes.
I'm not we're not talking about that. We're talking about a certain person on YouTube by the name of Quantum TV who's been basically abusing the YouTube copyright system. And has had a notorious history on both Twitter, Facebook, and all these other social media platforms. And who has been ban-evading on YouTube.
Yeah.
So,
I'm a this delete. I may not be in the loop on that, but
well, I'm basically giving the information by just going through the videos that talk about him and shit and whatnot.
okay.
And how this whole YouTube copyright system shit started off.
Okay.
This whole debacle, practically. So, anyways, back to what we were, looking at.
Is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points,
Honestly,
and may God have mercy on your soul.
in my
As someone who
opinion,
myself is essentially
And
I've heard
here's the funny thing.
horror stories about that.
here's the funny,
somebody abusing the YouTube copyright system, though.
and here's the fucked up part about it. This
Uh.
guy did it all because he didn't like the fact that he was getting flack for his comments about Elden Ring. A game that I personally have no interest in playing because I'm not a Souls fan. I'm an idiot who buys Call of Duty for every freaking reason other than having fun.
Yeah, I played Elden Ring a bit.
Oh, and what are your thoughts on it?
Elden Ring?
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd say it's what would happen if. Well, not if, but I'd say it. Honestly, yes, it can be difficult at times, but like a Soulsborne kind of game, it's about like trial and error, parrying and blocking, like attacks,
And dodge rolling.
yeah, dodge rolling.
You're freaking dodge rolling
basically.
like that, like a fucking
Yeah.
Morphball Samus.
Yeah, and just fucking making sure that, like Doc Lewis from, I'm gonna pull Doc Lewis from, Punch Out, dodge his attack and counter attack.
Hey,
So,
I couldn't have
like-
said it better than myself. I mean, shit, I played Code Vein, and that game is basically the anime Dark Souls.
yeah, and I'd say, in terms of gameplay wise, I actually like it. Believe it or not. Well, yes, it can be frustrating at times.
And here's the thing.
It's kind of like,
I'm gonna be honest. I like the fact that it's open world. Because right then and there, it got rid of some of the problems that Dark Souls has had, where, because most Dark Souls games felt linear.
yeah, but I mean, thing about it is, it's like, well, yes, it's not the first Soulsborne game to go full on open, to be an open world kind of game, but it feels more open world than the previous ones. Because honestly, it's like a choose your own path kind of way. But if you want to make it through the bosses, you gotta follow the, because there's a bit of a trail from the Lost Graces, which is basically what like the bonfires, the Elden Ring equivalent of a bonfire, where you can rest, and such. Even is the potency of your flasks and how many flasks you can have with certain materials, of course, which can be hard to find, but the payoff is getting more flasks and make the flask more potent.
Exactly. And my main problem with, like, when it came to Dark Souls, I wasn't a fan of it because of its overwhelming difficulty. Because to me, for somebody who's never really played a Dark Souls game, whenever I played Code Vein, I was just like, oh god, I'm worried.
Yeah. But since I played a bit of, I've actually had a bit of a history with Dark Souls kind of games, but I haven't really gone into it a lot. It's I kind of have a tendency to make mistakes and get mad about it and such. But honestly, it's just.
And
But
another major problem that I've had with people that, make a nasty habit about complaining about a game's difficulty really just are never really played the game before, are either like not interested in getting better at the game, and
Yeah,
are just wanting the game to hold
honestly-
its hand, hold their hands
Yeah.
through the entire
Well,
experience.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, the people who talk shit about it, all the game's difficulty has never even, I guess you could say, a full, that it was made like that for a reason. Because in the game, you're meant to be an underdog. You're meant to be.
It's basically a case of you're not meant to be Goku right away.
You're not meant to be like God. God. Basically.
I was basically going to make the
Like-
I was saying you're not Goku in the sense that you can't just get stronger every time you're almost dead.
Yeah, because in Dark Souls like games,
Dear God, imagine if Bandai Namco is just like, well, From Software seems to be getting a lot of love for the Souls games. Why don't we just make that with Dragon Ball?
yeah, but
That'd be
Yeah,
hilarious.
honest-
You know that?
yeah,
Bandai Namco is just like, okay, so we noticed that From Software and its games seem to be getting a lot of love for the obvious reason of, well, I get why it's getting a lot of love because it's doing one thing that most mainstream games don't seem to do a whole hell of a lot, and it's in fixing shit that's broken by just sticking to what works. I know not every game's gonna be able to do that, or whatnot. I just think that in the case, like for instance, Call of Duty, it has drifted to the point where it's no longer just an arcade shooter, and I get it. Like, it's not gonna be that way forever, but it's just like you had something that worked in COD 4 and hell, even up to Black Ops 2. Why forsake that with some tactical modern shit?
yeah. I understand where you're going with, because honestly, Call of Duty wise, one of my favorite Call of Duty games is definitely Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Because for one, the story on it is great. It is spectacular.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing. Campaign-wise, I don't mind the modern Call of Duty campaigns, because I personally, to me, campaigns are fun for one playthrough.
Yeah.
But the multiplayer is the one where I see the most issues in.
Yeah, but the thing is, with Call of Duty Black Ops 2's campaign, you actually have, because this was an idea from Activision that I'm surprised they haven't acted on, but the choices you make, you get to make choices
I think
and whether
and here's
it'll
the thing.
actually have multiple endings.
And here's the thing. I think they tried that again with Cold War, but not to the extent that Black Ops 2 is known for.
Yeah, because, I mean, honestly, it could go a bunch of different ways. And it's awesome. But back to what I was gonna say about the Dark Souls kind of games, because yeah, there is a leveling system, but for it you need to have the currency, and the thing is, you get currency from defeating enemies and special currency giving items, for example, in Elden Ring, the currency is runes.
And that's the thing. Like, in Souls, leveling is a grinding process.
Yes, but
And-
honestly, it can be really rewarding as well.
Yeah, especially. And a lot of the enemies that one-shot you, you could literally mitigate it by just embracing the one stat called Vigor and maxing that bitch out.
Yeah, and plus, oh, excuse me. Yeah, that's something to drink or something. Oh yeah, right. And anyways, yeah, and for example, like in Elden Ring, you got runes for which you get from defeating enemies or gaining or rune-related items like golden runes, runes such. Hell, even Lord runes are a thing in there, which can give you a lot of runes.
And there's one thing I've noticed, particularly with the Elden Ring like community, they've particularly cling to the one maiden that shows up that only has really one eye.
Yeah,
I'm sitting there
and
like,
I mean,
I get it, but I also don't.
yeah. Though honestly,
it's too confusing for me to delve into a story that I've never really fucking played.
yeah, and honestly, he's with Turks, and with speaking of story, what things like honestly, it can make sense when you think about it, because with maidens, which are are what help the tarnished, which is what your character basically is, a tarnished.
Yeah.
They sort of help them by turning their runes into new power, which basically is story saying, "Hey, we can help you level up and such. We can help make you stronger."
And another thing I've noticed with people that don't like it, it's not really that, you know, the game to them the game has to have this particular easy mode or some shit, and I'm sitting there like, there's a lot of things that could go wrong just by doing that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like the Ackman said, an easy mode for a game like Dark Souls and such.
And you know the funny thing is, this jackass that I've mentioned as of right now, the Quantum TV jackass.
Yeah.
Guess what he's doing?
What?
He false copyright struck the Act Man for a video called "The Worst Elden Ring Takes." And this Quantum guy really doesn't like being criticized for saying very absolutely horrible things, like, for instance, those that play the game have no family, have no friends.
Yep. He's just fucking. I'm gonna be real with you. That guy is just a fucking dumbass.
He's a prick.
Straight up.
He's delusional also. I wouldn't be surprised if this stream gets taken.
Honestly,
if this VoidCast episode 2 gets taken down just because we're talking about him alone.
Yeah, because honestly, he needs to learn that criticism is only natural if you talk bad about stuff. Like, honestly, like, for example, and I'm going to be a bit controversial on this one, but with the release of Doom 3, people are criticizing it because honestly, with the name like Doom, people would expect like, oh yeah, I'm gonna fuck you, like I'm gonna rip those demons a new one and such, you know, just make my day, you know, not like and they don't expect like, oh God, I have no power, no, or run away, you know?
I think that's the main criticism, like Doom 3, is the fact that,
Yes, because honestly,
and
like,
I,
what
I've,
happened to Doom 3, it became a horror game. It aim stop aim but with first person shooting aspects. Like, yeah, you can fight back, but it's mostly a horror game.
it's
Aiming
basically
it turns into
it basically did what pardon me for making this microcosmic example. It did what Dead Space 1, 2, and 3 did.
Yeah, but honestly, Dead Space 1 can pull it off way better.
Same with 2 and 3.
Yeah, the 2 and 3, you kind of... Well, 3 kind of... With Dead Space 3, talking about it, out there, it turned into more of an action game instead of a horror game that the Dead Space series is known for.
I mean,
Which kind of like what Doom 3 did for the because with Doom 3 it turned into a horror game and that instead of a first person shooting kind of game that the Doom series is known for.
basically
Got,
a
yeah.
arcade style, shooter with heavy emphasis on movement.
Yes. But honestly,
And then
I'm
when Doom 2016 happened, we went back to the,
yeah.
gritty arcade style rip and tear simulator.
Yeah, well, it may be Doom may be controversial because some stuff that happened, like some people would actively say like, "Hey, this game is causing mass suicides, or you're gonna people into Satanism or something like that." Honestly, the way I think of Doom is, I think it's just
the same thing happened with games like Twisted Metal Black.
Yeah, because honestly,
and here's the thing:
in
Twisted
my
Metal
mind,
Black, the controversy around it was the fact that it was dark, gritty, and it emphasized on the madness within the inmates of this, asylum.
Yeah. But then again, what are you expecting? It's an asylum. There's gonna be insanity in there.
Yes, but it went far different from Twisted Metal 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
Which is why I seriously think that both Twisted Metal 1 and 2, then Head On, and if they ever do come out with a new game of the Twisted Metal franchise, and I hope to God David Jaffe at least, looks into the idea.
Yeah, but honestly, as I was saying before we got a little bit sidetracked.
Oh, definitely.
Because I know we've gotten a little bit of sidetracked there. Yeah. As I was saying, like...
swings and roundabouts.
That whenever you're criticized about something you say, like, yeah, you may think like, hey, fuck you, but
if it weren't for the fact that he tried to falsely copyright
a scene on how much you hit, if you can't take criticism, then don't do something that'll give you criticism.
And here's the thing. Here's the fucked up part about this, though. It would have been, it would have been perfectly fine if he would have just said, fuck you and all this other shit. I believe what I want to believe and whatnot. Yeah. The problem people have with him is that he's threatened to DMCA the guy I'm watching, the guy whose video I'm watching right now, Mischief, with a takedown. This isn't the original video, by the way. This is a re-upload with that copyright with him ranting about the whole copyright strike shit against the threat of copyright and the reason why he deleted the original video because he didn't want to deal with it.
Honestly, with that, it's just with what he's doing. I'd say that he's more than likely abusing the copyright system.
And then here's another thing. He was previously banned. Ban evasion.
Damn. I guess exact same thing.
No.
Oh.
Far fucking worse.
Oh.
Which, if he decides to make some sort of response video to this shit, fuck him. I don't care. Because he'll divert to this shitty fucking excuse of, well, my shit got hacked. When the hackers just delete everything and just shift you to damn cryptocurrency bullshit.
Yeah, honestly, yes, it could be. Yes, there are hackers in the world. I don't think hackers can do something like that all the time.
And if they wanted to hack somebody more frickin' prominent.
Yeah, don't just hack it and be like, oh, this stuff badly. I'll just go with it. Boop, my hand slipped.
And here's another thing. If he would have been hacked, wouldn't all of his shit be deleted?
Yeah. Honestly.
And if he threatens me with a DMCA takedown, I could just tell him to go fuck himself. Simple as that, because there ain't no reasoning with a dickhead like him.
Yeah, because honestly.
And I hope the Ackman clears his ass out.
Yeah.
That's why
Honestly,
that's why I feel more safe having, you know.
This day and age, video games are an art. They are there to stay. Hey, they're a form of enjoyment. They're a form of entertainment. They're like a hobby. And some people will turn that hobby into sort of like a job, like with Markiplier and Jacksepticeye.
Hell, even frickin' PewDiePie, the fucking king of YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, he and all those guys, like they were like
and it's guys like him that give YouTube a bad fucking name.
Yeah. Because honestly, he needs this. This is something that is gonna be out of control, and he needs to stop right where he is. Stop all his head.
There are people on YouTube that I do not agree with banning on YouTube, but this guy is just no. If he's already ban evading over shit he said,
yes,
over spiteful shit he said. The man even went as far as in one of his own videos saying, at the end of the day, go kill yourself. Then trying to walk it back like... Hold on. And then trying to walk it back like, oh, I meant in game, because the game's just a death loop.
How much of a dumbass is he?
A fucking...
That's what I'm wondering. Like, how much of a shitty human being does he have to say to gamers to kill themselves?
He thinks he's completely fucking justified too, because at the end of and I'm gonna say this, and if you're watching this Quantum TV, you son of a bitch, shut up.
Honestly,
just shut up before you dig yourself a bigger grave than you could possibly ever dig yourself out of.
Honestly, this could go down into a into real illegal shit.
I mean, shit, he's
Okay.
already committing illegal acts like perjury and shit.
Yeah, but honestly, he telling the others to kill themselves, that's fucking low. Oh, that's low-hanging fruit.
That is like some Keemstar low-hanging fruit.
That's like Omarker's low-hanging fruit.
We don't talk about Omrecker here, because at this point, I just want Omrecker to just, keep my fucking shit out of his fucking mouth.
Honestly, I agree with you there.
And here's the funny thing.
I agree with you there.
I'm gonna pull a freaking Will Smith with this one. Keep my channel's name out your fucking mouth.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, he's just... Honestly, I don't get it. I really don't.
Anyways.
Brand new to the Souls franchise via
what has to
Elden
go
Ring,
through his-
outside of playing a Souls game once or twice for very short increments, I can tell you right now you're flat out wrong. I fucking love Elden Ring, and making blanket statements like you just did is beyond delusional. Not only that everything
Honestly,
you just
this
said
is
was
just-
quite literally factually incorrect, you do not lose everything when you
just
die. What does happen
bad.
is you only drop your runes, the item used for leveling up, which then can be picked up
dude.
at the location you died upon respawn. You also do not drop anything else when you
You need
die.
to
No weapons are
Stop it.
Get some
Get
help.
some help.
dropped, no armor is dropped, no
Reevaluate your
materials
life
are dropped,
and think,
nothing is dropped apart from the
am I doing
runes,
it-
and they only disappear if you die again before picking them up. Something
doing
that
the
I've
right
found is very
thing,
hard
or
to
am I
do. It is
putting
harder to
myself
not
in-
pick up
up
runes
into a
before
rabbit
dying
hole?
again, even in a boss arena,
Pun
than
intended.
dying to the boss. But as per usual with this video in particular,
for
it's
you
filled
know
with
who.
what
And another massive thing I've also wanted to say was this guy has said a lot of horrible shit. The kill yourself shit is just again low hanging fruit, but it's not as bad as what he's been saying.
Yeah, but honestly,
Like making horrible comments referring to like mass shootings that killed people or some shit, hoping that people die via that way. Like there is such a thing as reasonable fucking disagreement. But going that far, no, that breaks that breaks the rules of what the First Amendment means. Calling to violence is stupid. You shouldn't do it. And I hope to God YouTube does something about it.
yes, because honestly, YouTube,
can only be
honestly,
determined as
this is
factually
just-
incorrect information.
I think if you're somebody who played something like Dark Souls before, you probably would like it. But if you're somebody new, the menu is cluttered.
with what you're
it's
saying,
really
and
hard
I
to
think
read,
he's just
and it's not
worth
user
it.
interface friendly.
He's just
And
not
then the
worth
controls
keeping
and
around.
all of this is
Settings can
just
change them.
not
There
worth
is both
it
full
for
key
being on
binding
the platform.
customization for controller plus keyboard and mouse in this game. The only reason
like,
And another thing, Elden Ring, this all started because of a shitty Elden Ring take, then just escalated to DMCA abuse, to then finding out that this guy is basically the equivalent to a fucking horrible human being, the equivalent to and I'm gonna say this, and as sarcastically as possible, this guy feels like the Black Keemstar. He doesn't know why he's getting so much hate, but he continues to say stupid shit on a daily fucking basis. However, I give Keemstar credit where credit is due when he says something right for a change. You've never said a damn thing right in your goddamn life. You said nothing but wrong, stupid, wrong, and just outright what the fuck.
yes,
for you to not like the controls is because you didn't
Honestly,
make them how
this
you
is
wanted
just-
them. Also, the menus outside of the settings for PC are perfectly
Going
fine.
way
In
out
fact,
of
they're
line.
better than perfectly fine. Since they are not at all cluttered like
Like,
you
he
are
needs to have an
wrongfully claiming,
intervention.
they are all segmented into various categories so people like you can easily
You look at the graphic style. It's a
Dead
joke.
ass.
It is literally a joke. It is like last gen being sold for new gen.
It's almost like the last thing that matters in a
somebody needs to
Souls-like is
give
how
them an
pretty the
introduction.
grass is. Elden Ring has without failure outclassed most AAA titles released
Make them
recently in terms of how
reevaluate this life.
beautiful it is. Sure, it doesn't have peach fuzz rendering like Horizon Forbidden West, which I'm sure you love since it is an incredibly easy game, but it has infinitely better art style.
That's
Graphics
all
do
I'm
not
saying.
matter in the vast majority of titles. Elden Ring
That's
is the
all I'm gonna
perfect
say
case
about
in
it.
point of that. Its art style and gameplay carry it higher than the
Wait, there's giant crabs in Elden Ring? Motherfucker better go get me a bucket so I can make crabs in a bucket. But anyways, it's to me, it's basically a case of I've never really played a game like Dark Souls or like Elden Ring, so therefore I don't know much about it. That's why I'm glad you're here, because you do have somewhat of a idea of what it is.
Yeah, just
the 4K truth
Yeah, the-
textures ever could in Forbidden.
it is. Honestly, there's a lot of stuff that can. Cause.
Okay, so my thoughts on the situation are plain and simple, Mr. Gamer. I personally see it as just a case of this guy is stupid, delusional, and just outright narcissistic.
Yeah.
And if anybody reasonably sees his videos and has any sort of criticism, don't fucking bother.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Fucking damn it, Tinsumi!
West.
Okay, what did he?
He said, "Giant crabs, you better keep Charlie Sheen away, crab rave." Oh my fucking god.
And Digital Foundry did a full breakdown,
Hey,
kind
did
of
somebody-
confirming everything I
Hey.
already knew playing the game, and most of us already knew playing the game. That the game's frame rates are trash.
Hey.
Like you
You know what
pay
you did.
so much money for these consoles. These
I ain't
next-gen
gonna let him
consoles
out.
just to
I
get
really think
scammed.
it-
I mean, who
the
here
guy-
is sick and tired of 4K 30? I know I am. We could have kept PS4 Pro and Xbox
But
Series S for that.
honestly,
Neither the PS4
But
Pro
how
nor
things
Xbox One
are
X are actually
nowadays-
capable of 4K 30 FPS in even most last-gen games. The PS5,
Yeah,
for
with-
example, is
on
not
it-
powerful
with
enough
things,
to run most
how
AAA
things are nowadays, it's just a matter of.
games at 4K 60 FPS. It is equivalent to around a 2060, and the Series X is around equivalent
before
to in between a 2060 and 2070.
go
Neither of those cards are capable of 4K 60
Basically down the
FPS in
shooter.
most AAA games. If you are expecting Elden Ring to run at 4K
Go with
60
them.
FPS, you are flat out a fucking
honestly,
moron.
it's
Even though it
just-
doesn't necessarily have the most impressive graphics, and even without the real-time shader compilation issues regarding frame time stuttering, consoles would struggle to maintain 60 FPS at 4K. This idea
Yeah, I kind of agree with Mischief on this, because 60 FPS on consoles is a little bit harder to attain or maintain. Fucking attain, maintain, whatever. Point being is, console and PC have very honest disparities towards 60 FPS or 4K. 4K to consoles, yes, I mean, yes, the hardware, and especially like Series X or S and PS5 are definitely like a bit better than the Xbox One to PS4, but
Yeah.
if you look at a game like, for instance, and I'm playing it right now while talking, Hot Wheels Unleashed. It also really pertains to the engine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what engine Elden Ring runs on, but it also really graphics are dictated by the engine you use. That's why games like Psychonauts 2, their engine is more focused on the abstract art style.
Yeah.
Games games like Hot Wheels Unleashed, they run on the Unreal Engine. I don't know what version of the Unreal Engine. I just know they run on Unreal Engine. Same thing.
Yeah, I don't know what
Go ahead.
Elden Ring is running on. The right now I am playing it.
And
It
and here's the thing. I think like those that continue to bitch about shitty graphics really need to realize the difference between like stuff like Modern Warfare 2019's engine, you know, its graphics engine, or like for instance Black Ops Cold War and its engine. It's really dictated by the engine the game is using. Say if something like say if a game ran on something like fuck, I need to remember what engine the old WWE games used to run on.
like the old Doom engine.
Hell, the old Doom engine is like graphics. Like a lot of times you'll see people, you know, sit there and mention shit like teraflops. What the fuck are teraflops? I don't care about that. It's just shitty nonsense.
There are a hell of a lot of console players have that the current gen systems are capable of native 4K at 60 FPS for games like Elden Ring, and especially other open world games like Dying Light 2 is one made up from nothing but pure delusion. Like, how are you gonna bring up Digital Foundry's video and the main takeaway you have is that the game's bad because it runs at 4K 60 FPS? Not bringing up the issues regarding frame time stuttering, but just complaining that a system frankly incapable of 4K.
If I could be able to like screenshot on my Xbox and like show you what do a bit about Elden Ring right now, I could. I would. But honestly, that's not.
And to find out that Moist Critical is currently streaming, reacting to the Ackman's video, I'm surprised that Moist Critical is getting involved. Because I'm mainly used to like the odd like salt dispensary frickin' Fratanga plays, or oh no, it's Alex and the Ackman being involved. I didn't really fuck. I was surprised when goddamn WoW Twitch streamer fucking help me out, chat. I'm trying to remember or trying to pronounce his name fucking correctly.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah.
Fucking
things just.
I have to look. Give me a second.
Well, on a different note.
Oh yeah, Asmongold TV. Like hell, I've noticed. I was surprised when he was shown actually paying attention to this. And I was surprised because it was, you know, like, hey, this guy's actually paying attention to this shit show too.
Yeah.
60 FPS in most open world games like Elden Ring doesn't run at a frame rate and resolution it cannot sustain. That is not at all.
I mean, honestly.
And here's the thing: I don't understand why like fanboys of particular consoles continue to bitch about like teraflops and shit. I don't know what the fuck those are. Don't really care. The thing that dictates whether or not a game should be bought or whatnot shouldn't be its graphics. That should be the last fucking denominator.
Yeah.
Because
honestly...
But yet we're supposed to somehow treat that as the sole defining thing on what makes a game great. It's like, the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, I could agree with you on there, because honestly, for what I look for in a game, it's not graphics or anything. Hell, if it looks great, more to it. And I do stupidity. because of fall damage, but hey, you live and learn.
And before I forget, whoever's like still in chat and whatnot, give this guy Mischief a follow or subscribe, because he does give a lot of good takes, and I personally like his content because it really shows how stupid people can be.
Yeah. But anyways. As I was saying before I interrupted myself by dying from fall damage like an idiot. Yes, I know. Fall damage. Which, that is a thing.
Yeah, and then another thing, this all could have been avoided if he would have just been like, hey, I'm sticking with my takes, instead of, like going straight to the, DMCAing somebody just because they disagree with him, or giving simple, like, understandable fucking pointers.
Yeah, but
It's just,
the thing
apparently
for in the
people,
game is
it's basically a case of, apparently people prefer Risperdal to Reason.
yeah, in the game that what I look for in the game is how good the gameplay is and how, if bugs in it aren't game breaking and such.
That's one of the main complaints I've had with Vanguard.
Yeah.
And if somebody doesn't like my take on like Vanguard or some shit,
Yeah.
I'm willing to agree to disagree.
Yeah. But honestly, if it's a game that's like a corpse launch or something like that, keep that in.
Oh, keep
It adds
that
to
in. Make sure
to the fucking hilarious.
Here's the funny thing. I really wish every game that has, that is like either, deals with, instead of like racing games, and I'd like to bring up a racing game that actually embraces the ragdoll physics sort of mechanic as well. Anybody know a game called Flat Out Head On?
Oh, I've played Flat Out.
Flat Out had some of the freaking funniest ragdolls, because
Yeah, because
unlike GTA or some shit like that, where you could either jump out the car and shit, if you get into a crash, your body A goes flying
yeah,
out the front window, not out the door or anything like that, like face first out the window.
Just like I goes fucking flying from the windshield.
And that was the funniest shit I'll ever see in a racing game, is somebody's body just going pew.
Yeah, but yeah, if it's a glitch like a corpse launch or something like that, please keep that in, because that is some funny ass shit.
That is some of the most hilarious stuff I'll ever see in a racing game, or in first-person shooters, is corpse launches, because you could send a body fucking pew.
Yeah, but
And that's why I really wish, like, games like, and I honestly think Elden Ring should have done this itself. Ragdoll physics are fucking hilarious, and if you embrace the ragdoll physics, you're not just a good fucking purveyor of content. You deserve a fucking gold star for effort.
yeah, but as I was saying, with what I look for in game, but yeah, good gameplay, no game-breaking glitches, like this, certainly something that could go fluidly,
Just imagine if Lego had ragdoll physics.
But yeah, and honestly, if it works and I can have fun on it.
Oh god, just imagine every game
But
having that, and
my
all of a sudden you just...
secondary, and honestly, for me, secondary things are like a good story or something and stuff like that. And I don't mind if it looks like a fucking art piece, or if it looks like some kind of Nintendo some kind of
if it looks
Super
like
Nintendo.
if it looks like something
NDS
from
or something like that.
if it looks like something from Nintendo DS, you know damn good and well they ain't gonna prioritize the graphics more along the lines of the gameplay. And if the gameplay's buggy, then yeah, don't play it. But if the gameplay is good and the graphics are shit, don't mind it.
Yeah, honestly,
And everybody that sits there and says, "Well, you don't have credibility," fuck off.
But speaking of good games, I know of a good game that I actually used to play on the original Xbox. That is actually getting is gonna be getting a reboot. Actually, Destroy All Humans 2. Oh my god!
Destroy All Humans 2 reprobed, by the way, which its trailer has Ramstein, like the first remaster of the first game, Destroy All Humans 1. The trailer had Ramstein, and that's why I like it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, there's a lot of things that in it that I kind of like. And
Halo does have ragdoll physics.
yeah, it does.
From Halo 1 to Halo Infinite, you have ragdoll physics.
Yeah.
Even if and corpse launches, even if it's, not as, hilarious as Halo Infinite's ragdoll physics, it's still ragdoll physics because it's ragdolls. You're sending your body fucking flying halfway across the map.
Yeah.
Especially when you're running somebody over with a goddamn warthog.
Yeah, take for in a game that I like for example, and I know that bit, and like saying stuff about it such, but Monster Hunter World, it does look like a good game. I mean, it is a bit of a good game. It has quite nice mechanics. It's brilliant animations and such. That's a good progression system.
Yeah, fucking got your progression system. I mean, shit.
I mean, honestly,
and hell, I wanted to actually get the remaster of Kingdoms of Amalur: Reckoning. For the one reason of Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning, even if it is just a copy-paste from the original, I'm pretty sure they've done some things with it.
As I was saying, good graphic, a good story. On it is some. Well, yes, it may be a secondary. I kind of like the story of it. It has some good gameplay. Well, yes, there may be some bugs. They're just hilarious. Some of it is just hilarious bugs. Especially like you know how on with online stuff, of sometimes when I'm in like an online hunt or something, the monster that I would run in, there would be occasionally some black spikes where the monster would just basically stand there, not doing anything.
No,
Hey.
just imagine a bug comes around that just causes it to not do anything and then T-pose.
I've seen even some bugs on where it would be a massive rubber band, and well, like you're fighting a monster in one zone, and all of a sudden, it puts you into camp.
What
And there's also some bugs that can some hilarious moments. It's that are basically like it happened that because well, you're being a bit too good. Like for example, with a monster called Sappy Jiva, which is the siege monster, in Monster Hunter Iceborne, World Iceborne, one where in the last like part, if you manage to get to 2 threshold to where he does that's his big poke off attack, he'll do it once with with cracks in it, and the cracks won't be gone, and then he'll do it again with no cover, which is which if you don't have with that attack, if you don't have cover, it's an instant kill.
Hell,
Yes.
there are some bugs that are just
Yes, it's just like
hell. There are even
you-
some in frickin' Kingdoms of Amalur, where and I recently just come across it, where you show up to an area and everybody's either T-posed until you talk to them, or T-posed up until you kill them.
Huh.
Specific enemies will
excuse me.
T-pose up until either A, you have that weird random fucking encounter spawn type shit, or to where it'll cause you to have to like until you like talk to them, and like with NPCs and shit where you have to talk to them in order for them to get goddamn T-pose shit.
But yeah, as I was saying before I sidetracked myself, but yeah,
Well,
with
I did
good
kind of interrupt you,
mechanics,
so
hell, even variety, yeah, in different gear you can get
I mean shit.
from different monsters, and hell, even different weapon style types.
Oh my god. I found a Skyrim themed bone shaker.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm continue.
Types and such, like good gameplay, a variety on game-breaking glitches and such stuff like that. It can make a good game. While I don't mind graphics, except like I'm not obsessed with graphics, I do appreciate whenever it looks good. But
And hell, I don't mind if a game has, old graphics. I mean, fuck, I'm the type that thinks that most Call of Duty games should have just stuck to, like, and I like the Modern Warfare 2019 engine. I just do not like the mechanics in the gameplay.
and honestly, if cross-platform also was in the game, like where you can play with other people that have different versions, like let's say on Friday the 13th game, you have it on Xbox, and yet you can encounter somebody who's playing it on a computer.
And hell, I have my own takes on the whole cross-platform thing, because a lot of people like it, a lot of people don't like it. However, I do think if there's one thing to be honest about, it's leave people that play on PC to their own devices, except for when it comes to, like, say, like co-op, for instance.
Yeah.
Because PC players can basically carry an entire team in PvE.
Yeah, though, honestly, for me, I don't care what console. If it's something that that works, hey,
I don't
It's
fault
something that
people for
works.
playing with PC players. I think PC players, especially like on first person shooters and shit, they have that
Yeah.
unfair advantage of being able to move their entire hand, not just move a thumbstick.
Yeah. I mean,
And that's just my, that's my take on it.
yeah. Since what? Wait.
Oh, Gory Destroy All Humans is basically an old Xbox game.
Yeah, from the original Xbox, not like the Xbox 360 or Xbox One S, which the of the newer console, but the Xbox One looks original.
It's basically OG Xbox incarnate.
Yeah, and the premise of it is that you're a
Play-
member of
You're
an
playing,
alien race called the Furons.
and
It,
the fact that this game is chocked full of like both movie references, video game references, and hell, even fucking full blown goddamn political references, and
yeah, a lot of
and a
different
lot of
references.
it's got a lot of fucking good ones too.
And the
Like making
the setting
like,
it,
like making everybody sound like either Richard Nixon or fucking JFK in the first game was hilarious to me. And it mainly had something to do with the time period that the first game was in. It was, I think, like the 80s and shit. Heat of the Cold War.
Yeah.
And with Crypto doing his shit, he's basically called a fucking commie.
Yeah, and
In order to
honestly,
cover up the fact that he was an alien, so they were, oh good, they're breeding. What the fuck do you mean, Gory?
yeah,
Fuck, we're getting off topic too fast. Oh boy.
yeah. Sorry.
It's not your fault. It's just we can't really keep a topic to save our fucking lives. Fuck.
Yeah, I mean, I admit it. I mean, I know you're a bit proud of this as well, but we're fucking nerds. We like nerd shit.
We will talk about whatever the fuck we are enjoying talking about, rather than talking about this goddamn stupid ass piece of shit that constantly wants to sit here and talk about, I own the sole copyright of Quantum TV. We're not even calling ourselves Quantum TV at this point. Then you would have a legitimate fucking case. But at this point, you're acting like a complete and total fucking nonce.
Yeah. But yeah.
Legit.
But anyways, before we
sorry.
continue talking, let's continue on with this goddamn video.
Critique.
Yeah.
A legitimate critique would
Okay.
be talking about the frame stuttering, which you barely do, and not to a remotely decent extent, since you clearly do not understand the reasoning behind
yeah.
it and have no idea what you're talking about.
So, I mean,
These developers are
See,
coming out with
Mike
these games
here,
and they're just slapping PS5 and Xbox Series X
try.
on the box
We just
without
like
ever even attempting to tap into the power.
talk about this
And
stuff
again,
we
without
fucking
any requirement to do so, to call themselves a multi-plat for that system, it's just the same thing. And what's even worse, the most egregious crime, is that even on PC, this game runs poorly.
Although I personally don't recommend people buy this on PC myself if they don't have a powerful system, it does not run as poorly as you described outside of the opening area. It is primarily in the opening area where frame time stuttering is a major problem, and this is something when making my review I hadn't realised yet, and so didn't mention it in that. Outside of the odd frame drops here and there, I haven't experienced huge problems. The weird part about Elden Ring is the fact that the real-time shader compilation issues mainly affect the opening area, and actually become less of of an issue the further you get through the game, something that may have been caused by From Software prioritizing trying to optimize the more demanding parts of the game for launch and leaving the opening area in the state it is. On consoles, the frame rate tends to remain above 50 FPS at the very least, which is more than fine. However, if you're like me and can notice that drop, run the PS4 version on PS5 and turn on variable refresh rate for the Xbox Series X to get a stable 60 FPS on current gen systems. What you were talking about in regards to the console ports are things which have an easy fix to use whilst we wait for From Software to correct the real-time shader compilation related frame time stuttering, at least if you're not on PC. There currently isn't a fix for the PC version.
Only way that you can get this game to look really good, as Digital Foundry so gently pointed out, was using PS4, I'll say that again, PS4 on the PS5. Why would I do that?
To solve the issues you're crying about for the time being whilst you wait for a patch, which will fix said issue. The fact I had to explain something so simple to you would be surprising if I hadn't watched the previous parts of the video and knew your history on YouTube. The PS5 version also doesn't often drop below 50 FPS, so again it isn't a major issue on consoles. On PC, however, it definitely is, and I can agree with you in regards to that specifically, and only that specifically.
Like, I don't understand, like, who they made this game for, where, like, you want low frame rates, but that for me, that's a massive deal breaker. I'm a massive motion buff, and to do something like that is unacceptable.
Then you take into consideration the fact that, again, most of your time in the open world is spent just, like, running around kind of aimlessly, if I'm being honest. It's one of those games where, like, it's so spread out. The map is so big, you're going to spend a lot of time running around.
So, like every single open...
So, and before he points this out, and before I say it, and then he says it, and then I feel like a complete and total dumbass, let's just avoid that entirely and let him say his point.
World game ever made. If you don't like open world games and you don't like Souls-esque titles,
honestly,
then why the fuck did you buy Elden Ring? Obviously you wouldn't like it. It doesn't take a genius to figure that out. At this point you're again not only flat out lying about the open world, but also just complaining that an open world game acts like an open world game when it comes to the fact it wants you to explore the open world. The opening area of the game, aka Limegrave, in and of itself has 35 bosses. Saying you spend most of your time traveling is beyond disingenuous. At most, you spend like 5 to 10 minutes going around each area of the map and unlocking all the sides of grace, which you use to fast travel. Outside of that, the map is littered with dungeons, hence the opening area having 35 boss fights. This is an incredibly content-rich game, and to claim otherwise is just straight up lying to your audience.
I guess the initial point of this video is...
But, yeah, like he said, if you don't like getting lost in an open world, then why the fuck are you playing it? Why the fuck did you buy it in the first fucking place? Like, unless we get a reason why you bought the game, I don't get it.
To say that, like, unless you are somebody who wants a severe challenge. I mean, you're the kind of person, you like dying 500 times in a row, and you like restarting and literally losing everything and going back to a save point, starting from scratch.
Again, that is not what fucking happens when you die. The levels of misinformation throughout your video here is flat out so ridiculous to the point I'm having to question if you ever played the game or not. It directly marks the location on the map where you previously died, so that you can pick up the runes you dropped. And once again, you only drop the amount of runes you have on your person when you die. You do not, as you claim, lose everything.
If you like that kind of thing, Elden Ring is your game. If you don't like dying again and again and again and again and again, don't buy this game. If you get frustrated very easily, or you come home from work and you're just trying to unwind and relax, this is not a game for you.
No shit.
What else were you exactly expecting from a studio that literally only makes the exact type of game you are describing? And once again, these strange blanket statements are so idiotic, it's truly unbelievable. I personally can relax whilst playing Elden Ring. Wanna know why?
Why the fuck am I even surprised at this point? Could somebody please explain to me why I was expecting this? Because otherwise I'm feeling like a complete and total fucking idiot. A nonce.
And don't mind any background music.
At this point, it's par for the course.
Heck, and if you hear a bit of a war, currently playing Monster Hunter World. Yeah.
But other than that, it's just don't do something you say just don't buy a game if you're just going to continuously bitch about
Yeah.
it.
I mean, like, if you don't like it, then
Don't.
what the fuck is the point of buying it?
It's
like
probably, I think the point he bought it for was because he was like fucking curious or some shit. Unless it's not that, then why the fuck you buy it? A. Why are you continuously deciding to buy the same game over and over and over again, knowing damn good and well this game is not a fucking cakewalk? Simple as that. You know, unless there's something that I don't know, that I'm missing or completely forgetting the point of, then why are you playing this fucking game? It's just, I personally don't see it.
Anyways.
He doesn't. And he keeps flaunting this a goddamn wedding ring that's like, the fuck?
Why? Because I'm not a man-child who gets upset over dying in a video game where death is a common occurrence. Because I chose to play a quote-unquote difficult game.
Again, I couldn't speak lowly enough about this game. I don't recommend it, and I think if you're smart, you'll just play something else. That's the review. Take it or leave it.
I mean, when it comes to who should be talking about people's intelligence here, I love to be the one to tell you this, but it sure as hell shouldn't be someone who has consistently gotten that information inside that fully edited video factually incorrect. Now, I think it's safe to say that has to be single-handedly the worst video we've taken a look at on this channel in a very long time, and I'll probably look at a second part of the video live sometime this week.
So, that's his video talking about the person that made the shitty review. Next up, let us watch the full-blown escalation of this stupid shit. Could have been solved in one thing.
I am so thrilled and excited.
If you're wondering why this man's wearing a goddamn suit,
Hi everyone, I'm the
he is planning on basically just this gentleman right here is basically getting ready to basically clean this motherfucker out. I couldn't be happier, because This man is the dumbest of the dumb, the lowest of the low, the man who can't take criticism. And quite frankly, he's the scum of the earth, the dumbest of the dipshits who constantly like to whine about their takes not getting anything but flack. It's the fucking Keemstar thing of, why am I still getting hate? Gee, it couldn't be because of your fucking horrible, shitty goddamn take. It couldn't be because you tried to, well, how can I put this in a way that you'll understand? Nobody, and I mean nobody, gives a shit about your goddamn dumbass diddly dum dum dickety dum dum take. They give a shit about the fact that you threatened to take down a 17-year-old UK, and I'm going to call him this in all joking, in manner of joking, dipshit's goddamn video, because you decided, oh, I can't handle a little bit of criticism. Because, and I quote, copyright. And then continuing to add on to the salt by saying, and I quote, at the end of the day, go kill yourself.
Alright.
This man gets no bitches. This man gets no maidens. He couldn't be bothered to simply just say, hey, I didn't like the opinion, but reasonable minds may differ. Let us fucking talk about it. But no, people prefer Risperdal to reason.
The act attorney here. What a pleasure it is to meet all of you today. I am so thrilled and excited. Today, we're going to be talking about copyright abuse and why filing false copyright takedowns is considered perjury, which is a crime under U.S. law, section 512F of the DMCA. How's that for an intro? Never gonna be doing something like that again.
You guys literally sound like
abuse victims, right?
So I would say this game is for somebody. They have no family, no friends, no life. I'm not sorry. I don't like Elden Ring players. They're nasty people. The players are losers. And you want to literally just start rolling with all these claims and accusations, literally living up to every gamer stereotype that you could possibly imagine. And you want to literally prove my point by being that literally loser. You're literally like a shut-in loser that like does this. And these people are literally like, bro, like they are literally scumbags. They like literally the textbook definition of like a bad human being. Like, you know, you want to sit there and you want to act like I'm some bad human being, you can get bent, dude. Look at you. Literally look at what you're doing.
Don't cry for me. I'm already dead.
Maybe that's why you don't have a ring on your finger. Maybe that's why your kids aren't around. Because maybe there's something wrong with you. At the end of the day, go kill yourself. Because maybe there's something wrong with you.
The game that's not for everyone isn't the game that should be made.
Maybe there's something wrong with you. Maybe there's something wrong with you.
Something wrong with you.
Maybe there's something wrong with you. Literally look at what you're doing. Maybe there's something wrong with you.
Alright, I'm recording this after the fact just to give a fair warning. A lot of the stuff I'll be showing and reading in this video is pretty offensive. None of it comes from me, and trust me, it all has a point. So, here we are. You take the blue pill, you click off this video, go to bed, wake up, everything's the same. You take the red pill, and I show you just how deep the rabbit hole goes. Court is
okay,
now
what the
in
fuck?
session.
I just managed to get a goddamn bank shot with a pickaxe.
Request was recently.
I just got a fucking bank shot with a pickaxe. How? Anyways, back to this.
Filed against my channel. Take a guess by who? Matt Haas. Nope. Derek Savage. Nope. Quantum TV.
You guys want to have your fun with Quantum TV? Have your fun at this point. I mean, I'm kind of amused by this. I'm not gonna lie.
So you think it's funny? The star of my Elden Ring hot takes video. If you haven't watched it, it'll be linked in the description. That video is going to remain public, and it will remain public forever.
So since, what is his name here? The Act Man? Never heard of you. And we're going to go over your so-called hot takes, which contains a lot of stolen footage, and which, by the way, I'll look into my options around getting that taken down.
Any further attempts to falsely copyright strike my channel will be met with a counter lawsuit in which I will clean you out.
When you start talking fair use, you are opening a legal battle because you're telling the copyright owner, fuck you, I can do what I want. Fuck you, I can do what I want. Fuck you, I can do what I want. Fuck you, I can do what I want.
I've also been updating fans curious about this because it is a big deal, but follow me on Twitter. I've been posting stuff and details there. This has gotten so far out of control, I have no choice but to unleash my true power as the Act Attorney. And although I have no legal authority as a lawyer, that's the end of that sentence. If you're curious about how copyright enforcement works on YouTube, Mudahar made a great video summing up the ramifications and what is actually at stake.
Again, once you file this claim, somebody else can counterclaim you, and then it becomes a legal issue. If it turns out that you're actually abusing this for your own benefit, just a high criticism, and you've actually taken down legally fair use content, this bites you on your ass. This is not authorized by the copyright owner, its agent, or the law. The law, okay? That includes fair use dealings, fair use law. If you were to take this video to a fucking courtroom, the judge would say this is fair use, okay? Even though fair use is a gray area.
You know, normally reacting or commentating on someone else's video as part of a critique falls under fair use.
Yeah, what's up?
You want to say anything or something?
Okay, so over this whole thing, I hope to God the Act Man just straight up cleans him out, like he says he is.
Yeah.
Because this guy is the lowest of the low. The scum of the earth. And if he isn't taken to task for the stupid shit he says, then he's going to continuously do it. And how far down that rabbit hole do you think he's going to go up until he can no longer hold his claim?
I don't know.
I'm mainly just making the assumption based on the fact that this guy has made the dumbest take on a game that he doesn't like, and I'm going to say this for those of you that think that criticizing a game you don't like, that many others do, by sitting there saying at the end of the day, go, you know, self-deletion, then you do not deserve to be on YouTube. Simple as that. And you get, and as a certain fucking clown-faced asshole on in the DCU likes to say, in the DC universe likes to say, you get what you fucking deserve. And at the end of the day, it's just like, you've lost your channel, you've lost your credibility, you're going to lose it again. You aren't the person to be talking about shit like this, so do yourself a favor and shut up. Simple as that.
Use. And generally speaking, pretty much everyone on this platform understands that, because if we didn't, then we would just be taking down other people's videos that we don't like all the time. And so, while editing the Hot Takes video, I made sure to edit as much of the original Quantum TV clips as I could.
Why I am very confident that what you guys do and your
Yeah.
takedown journalism
I
of
agree
other
with you.
YouTubers and other creators
Like,
is not
really?
only not fair use, but it's YouTube's textbook definition of cyberbullying and harassment.
Objection!
What I posted was
really
fair
need to
use.
do this.
And YouTube agrees with me, which is why they rejected the copyright takedown.
Like, are you
Now
that
keep
much
in mind,
of
in this
a
legal document, not
scumbag?
only is it false, but he didn't even bother to fill it out properly. The link to his video is missing, and he wrote the wrong title for the videos he was claiming. I have the original titles here. I will put them on screen. If you send a DMCA takedown notice that is both false and meant in bad faith, such as to harass or doesn't state a real claim, you have committed perjury.
Take that!
You posted these to YouTube. You can't file false claims and lie in the claim, you absolute moron. You can't beat the Act Attorney, man. I played all the Ace Attorney games. I played them all. In my last video, I said this. It's like a rabbit hole we don't even want to go down. Unfortunately, now we have to. Some people might ask, well, why are you making this video? Why are you giving him exposure? I understand your concerns, but this affects the entire YouTube platform. By the way, he's not gaining much of a following or viewership from all of this controversy, and my end goal is the termination of his YouTube channel for routinely abusing copyright, violating terms of service, and the YouTube community
there's lots
guidelines.
of
All of this that is outlined,
that
I'm
can
going
be
to show
taken
you
into
evidence of how
consideration.
Quantum TV has
But there are a lot
violated
of
all of
things.
it.
Not everything has to be perfect. Just some.
Fuck, I have a lot of
things can be-
disagreements with a lot of things that YouTube does. Fuck, I disagree with people who think Leafy's ban was legitimate. I disagree with people who like, why isn't Keemstar?
Yeah.
Say we should ban Keemstar. Keemstar's the person that I want to fucking laugh at to the end of the earth. But at the end of the day, people's takes are people's takes. Expecting people to be nice is like trying to expect the internet not to have a soul. And again, the internet doesn't have a soul, and what the fuck am I on about?
Yeah.
It's just, the people that want to sit there and make this about copyright or, you know, I have the rights to take down whatever videos that have my content in it. You're a public figure. People
Honestly,
are going,
that's just.
I'm just going to say this. You're a public figure. People are going to continuously call you whatever the fuck they want to. At the end of the day, get used to it, or come back with something a little bit more original than, oh, you're stealing my copyright. Let me just yoink your video down for whatever the fuck reason you want to. And not only is the copyright system, and I'm going to sit here and say this, for everybody's gripes about the copyright system, founded or unfounded, most of the takes are rooted in morality.
Shit. Oh.
It's just, it's the funny thing is, I'm the type of guy that thinks that if you truly own the copyright shit, fucking show the receipts of you getting the legal system to fucking agree with it. Maybe then people won't, bitch at you. But then again, most of the shit is either and most of the people's videos about you are both heavily edited to make sure that it is within the, parameters of fair use, and to make sure that that not 100% of your content is basically playing without any sort of input. And before I get too far off, go ahead.
It is two different things on these. Like if somebody is just outright copying what you're doing, then yeah, that's copyright. Right, then you have the rights. But if it's some sort of reaction or
hell
criticism on that.
And here's the thing. This is why I don't shed a tear for people like fucking, Hassan Piker or Pokemon, because they stolen content.
Yeah.
And they also tend to do this thing where if you dare criticize them, they'll take your shit down. So the fact
because
they get that shit on it, their shit, taken down due to copyright issues, it's just really a slice of fucking irony, because they do that, and once they get that shit done to them, they cry victim.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I don't agree with copyright as a whole entirely. Hell, I disagree with people like frickin' Razor Fist for the obvious reason of I don't like how copyright has been used as a bludgeon against anybody ever.
Yeah. But yet there's a lot of things that should not be, well,
And here's the thing, rather than just outright remove it, put a heavy emphasis on revamping it to where people who think that, who want to use the to where it's not a bitch to get the rights to it,
Yeah. This is just. Yeah. Honestly, there's a lot I want to say, but it's just I don't know how to express it in words. It in words. Like, honestly, It just the abuse, the copyright abuse, abuse and such. YouTube needs to do something about it. Like,
and fuck, I agree with you. They really need to fix at least something with that system, or punish people that abuse it with the intent to either bully, harass, all these different things. There's ways of fixing it that doesn't overall negatively affect the DMCA at all. But most people abuse it to shield themselves from criticism.
honestly, they need to at least put a limiter. Like for example, or put in a warning system or something like that. Or hell, even have them banned for too many copyright things.
Exactly. Like, make something to disincentivize this idea that you could just take down anything that either disagrees with you or calls you out for your bullshit.
But let's start at the beginning.
Amazing. Let's give a shout out to Mischief. And there are all these people saying that I falsely attacked some young kid. Everybody loves to put his age out. The moment I mention it, why are you so obsessed with his age? I don't care, he's a minor, leave it alone.
For some reason, he's really obsessed with the age of Mischief.
Like, nobody gives a shit about his age. He's being a piece of garbage. People like Mischief, who apparently is a young child. Maybe Mischief's mother might want to get in on this. What? All the
Because...
Oh my god. Will the takes ever cease to amaze me?
So obsessed with his age. I don't care, he's a minor, leave it alone. For some reason, he's really obsessed with the age of Mischief. Like, nobody gives a shit about his age. He's being a piece of garbage. People like Mischief, who apparently is a young child. Well, maybe Mischief's mother might want to get in on this. Why?
Like, bruh. And nobody gives a shit about your fucking viewer count either, you fucking nub jockey. Like, come up with a valid point or just shut the fuck up. If what you're saying is true and nobody gives a shit about his age, then why the fuck are you bringing it up? Why the fuck is anybody bringing it up? Just explain to me that. How can something not you? How come nobody gives a shit? Something nobody gives a shit about, but you keep bringing it up. You know?
Yeah, I know.
Like, nobody gives a shit about his age. Then why the fuck are you bringing it up every fucking time? For us to then say, hey, you seem really obsessed about this motherfucker's age. Like, for fuck's sake. Like, fuck you, you're adopted. I don't give a fuck. If what you're saying is true and nobody gives a shit, something nobody gives a shit about, but you keep bringing it up. You know? Like, nobody gives a shit about his age. Then why the fuck are you bringing it up every fucking time? For us to then say, hey, you seem really obsessed about this motherfucker's age. Like, for fuck's sake. Like, fuck you, you're adopted. I don't give a fuck.
Like, we don't give a fuck about that. Like,
if you were to ask me, what do I care about when it comes to Mischief? Really just the points that he's making and the overall sense that, hey, this guy isn't a complete and total asshole like you.
Yeah.
Which at the end of the day says a lot about you and not about him.
yeah, because
It's just... What's the point about bringing up his age? Let's see. You're doing it to somebody who makes mistakes. Unlike you, who, let's face it, you're probably such a narcissist that you're probably sitting there like, oh, I did nothing wrong. Why am I getting hate? It's just pure stupidity. Like, wow, you really think I give a fuck what you think about this guy and everything else? But yet, because you decided to state his age like fucking 3-4 different times, you're assuming that we give a shit about his age when you're the idiot who seems to just keep bringing it up. Shut the fuck up at this point. Like, you don't have a ground to stand on, much less a stump. Like, fucking hell.
Negative press you've seen on me is because I reviewed a game once, didn't like it, some 16-year-old kid picked it up. This is said 16-year-old. 16-year-old, 17-year-old kid from the UK. Mischief, the 16-year-old kid. You're not some young 16-year-old kid on the internet. There was a 16-year-old kid. This kid. He's a 16-year-old. There's a 16-year-old kid. Some 16-year-old kid on the... Mischief is the chief orchestrator behind this entire thing. This is all about Mischief, who's orchestrating this, who's running to every YouTuber he can. And again, it's always orchestrated by this one little shit. He is whining and lying to everyone he can. I mean, I'm so fucking tired of this little kid. I swear to God, even with this motherfucker right now. All of this started because of some 16-year-old kid. This one little shit, Mischief.
Yeah, well,
and the thing
honestly,
that really gets me the most annoyed is it all started with Mischief.
It's
like, nobody gives a shit about his age.
Quantum TV is right. This all started with Mischief. He uploaded a video critiquing Quantum's first review of Elden Ring. The man was not pleased.
Quantum TV is the exact type of channel which makes you consistently have to sit back and ponder the question, what the actual fuck is wrong with this man? Even though he himself is more than happy to portion people in now deleted replies to my community posts. I want to clear up one or two things regarding why I myself took down the video initially. First of all, at the time I simply said to myself, fuck this, I'll deal with it later, and so took it down.
So Mischief took his video down because he didn't want to deal with that, and Quantum celebrated his victory and retracted his claim.
You steal videos and you lie through your fucking teeth. This guy is going around to every YouTuber he can fucking find saying, he's saying I'm violating YouTube terms of service and he's bullying me. He's playing the fucking victim. Let me put this on the screen for every motherfucker right now that needs to see this shit. This little turd literally pulled his own video.
Yeah, because he probably doesn't want to get a fucking copyright strike.
But the damage and intent was made apparent to the rest of us, because we all understand the gravity of using copyright against other content creators. This is something that will naturally draw people's attention, especially if it is being abused.
This is all about Mischief, who's orchestrating this, who's running to every YouTuber he can.
Objection!
Mr. TV,
I'll even be a coward.
I'm afraid I must expose your ignorance. For you see, Mischief never orchestrated any attack against you. Take a look at this screenshot. Would you kindly take a look at this screenshot?
Yeah, he choosing to be a coward?
A fucking coward over a 16, 17-year-old kid from the UK calling him a dumbass.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I'm going to say something that most YouTubers would probably agree with, but never really said. At the end of the day, get the fuck off of YouTube. Get the fuck off the internet. Disconnect your router entirely. Because if you're getting severely upsetty spaghetti over somebody's goddamn opinion, just go off of YouTube. Get off of Twitter. Get off of Facebook. Get off of it. Simple fucking fix.
It's just...
You're only making the wound deeper. It says a lot more about you than it does about the rest of us.
Yeah, and with what you said about him being narcissistic and such, the world, hey, newsflash, the world doesn't revolve around you, buddy.
The world doesn't, and for him to sit there, and for him to sit there and be like, "Oh well, I'm getting targeted because this fucking however many years old bastard named Mischief is talking about me and YouTube and shit, and he's using my copyrighted work, which by the way I don't even think should be even considered copyrighted, considering you didn't go through the torturous process of getting the shit signed into law as it being copyrighted. But you know what? At the end of the day, whatever. It's whatever. It's stupid. It's just not going to help.
Like, were you ever loved as a child?
Probably fucking not.
I'm sorry if I'm going too far there.
Oh no, that's perfectly fucking fine. I'm pretty sure he's fucking adopted at this point.
Yeah.
It just feels like to me he's going out of his way to bury himself.
Yeah, he's just digging himself a grave. One day, this shit is gonna stop. When is that? Nobody knows. But hopefully it will be soon. Hopefully things will die down.
Hopefully. I'm not holding out hope for a minute, though.
I wouldn't recommend making a video on that quantum guy. Well, Mr. TV, care to explain how Mischief could be orchestrating a cyberbullying campaign against you at the same time he's telling the rest of us not to go after you? Because I would love to hear an explanation. Or do I smell a contradiction? You're only blaming Mischief for all of this because he made the first video. This has all been a facade to silence criticism about you. You have it backwards. Mischief didn't reach out to me. I reached out to him. As you can see in these DMs here. Make no mistake, Quantum, your takes were so bad. They were the worst I've ever seen. But you are the only one responsible for escalating this situation. You used your platform, your standing to routinely harass Mischief.
I mean, I'm so fucking tired of this little kid. I swear to God, I can't even with this motherfucker right now.
Right, I'm the bad guy here for telling some small punk that wants to steal from other people and just shit on them. Just absolutely shit on
Bro, the only one stealing is you because you're stealing everyone's fucking intelligence.
The fact that Mischief was 16, 17 just made it shittier because he's young. Because someone like that could easily be manipulated by someone like you. But that's a smart kid, man. I mean, he's only 16 years old and you couldn't get the best of him?
And a lot of these smaller channels, 200 subscribers, 400 subscribers, 4,000 subscribers, that tier of lower YouTuber.
Amazing. Let's give a shout out to Mischief.
You know, that is a great idea, Quantum. For once we agree on something, everybody go subscribe to Mischief. Let's get him to more subscribers than Quantum TV so we can see who the real lower tier YouTuber is. Wouldn't that be amazing? Subscribe to Mischief for justice. Never in your wildest dreams did you expect someone like Mischief to have a powerful ally like me. But against scum like you, I'll always try to be there to clean up the streets. It's funny, isn't it? The old saying, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. While I may not like what Griffin Gaming has to say about some of my videos or my Vanguard review, who cares about any of that? This is way more important. YouTube is a platform where we should all be able to hate each other and coexist. You threaten that, Quantum.
They smack talk and smear somebody's reputation that they don't like for the moment and move on to the next person. You know who's also big for doing this? Griffin Gaming. There's so many.
That's right, bro.
For some reason, you decide to go after Griffin Gaming too, for doing the same thing Mischief did. God knows how many other YouTubers you've attacked in the comments section. The pattern is Quantum will start beef with anyone who talks about him. He'll produce a video, leave it up for a day, and then delete it because he realized what a disaster it is for him.
Like, for fuck's sake, he pulled his own video. Deleted by user. You tell me what that shit means.
That's what you call ironic.
I got all these fuckers calling me out of my name. I'm a scumbag. I'm this, that, and the third.
You are, bro.
Many gamers that do this toxic shit where they find somebody they want to bully and they think the shit works. It doesn't work.
Like, if you don't want to get quote-unquote bullied, keep your opinions to yourself. Maybe uploading them to a public website is probably not the best idea.
Griffin makes a good point. If you upload something to YouTube, anyone can criticize it or talk about it. You posted it to the internet. That's the end of it.
He expects the internet to be nice to him. You did say you were going to look into your options. You did want to take legal action against me. That's also another shtick that people told me about you, like Griffin Gaming. That's what you do. Don't make it like that was clickbait, Chief. You were thinking about it.
Ironically, in his quest to silence all criticism, Quantum TV has invoked the Streisand effect to its maximum potential. Your efforts to hide the truth have only increased people's curiosity about it.
Just got sniped. But, yeah, I gotta admit, he did kind of dig himself a fucking grave. Quite sadly, oh, how the mighty have quite literally
I'm back,
fallen.
and I may have a little have a visitor with me.
Hmm?
From my okay. Yes. I have a cat now. His name is Shakespeare.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah. Anyways, as you were saying.
Oh, I'm still watching the video that goes over the fact that he both broke copyright law and decided to ban Evade. And I'm honestly hoping, and as well as, you know, deleting his channel and shit.
Up here, Shakespeare. Oh, he's just. Over here, bud. Oh, do you have my own bed? All right. Yeah. But yeah, as you were saying that.
I'm basically just still watching the video and whatnot, and giving my honest take on all this bullshit to do with quantum and shit. Because, I mean, what the fuck else am I supposed to do? but I paused the video for a moment to sort of point this out, that not only has Quantum, blatantly abused the DMCA stuff, he then blames YouTube for quote-unquote telling him to do it, when in reality that tool usually doesn't get used at all by anybody.
Yeah.
So for people to just straight up go into... For him to straight up just say, hey... if he would have just been like, hey, I may have screwed up and got somebody's shit taken down, and not realizing that it would leave a bad precedent for people on YouTube, he just decides to double down, triple down, quadruple down on a horrid take on a game that...
But he blamed YouTube, and...
Here's the thing. That should have been grounds enough alone for him to get banned, because I also think disrespecting... blaming YouTube for your fuck-up is just... It's like blaming an algorithm for a basic, like... It's basically thinking that because an algorithm decided to say some shit about, hey, it looks like some of your content may be on this channel shit. Like, if I saw, like, one of my videos got, like, talked about or re-uploaded or some shit like that, I wouldn't be mad. I would be more along the lines of, holy shit, I just got traction in the way that I did not expect it. And that's where I'm, like, that's where I think my main, like, overall sort of thoughts about this lie is just... I don't see things as, oh, you did this, so therefore I have to do this. Or, oh, I didn't like the fact that you said this about my particular video or some shit like that. If somebody's got criticism of my video, that's, I'm perfectly okay with that. But if they're going to the point where, as Quantum keeps accusing people of doing, the only time I'll really have a problem with it is...
It's like a...
Go ahead.
You can finish what you were saying first.
It's basically like saying, if somebody told me what Quantum TV says to anybody that criticizes his videos, then yeah, I would be like, hey, but instead of like a copyright strike or some shit like that, I'd be like, and threatening him with it, I'd just be like, hey, I didn't like what you said about me and the shit you said. I'd be civil about it. I don't get the idea of just be horrible to whoever you fucking want. I think if you're going to do something, say something, and then somebody get, pissy with you, then you could be nice to them still by doing the thing called kill them with kindness.
Yeah. Honestly, this is just...
But another thing that I've been like pointing out is a lot of these people that abuse the copyright system or that use the copyright system, they have nefarious intentions. Not like, hey, I don't want my videos being used at all, or like, say if somebody's using it to troll somebody or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not like that type of person that would be like, hey, I don't like my video being used in any sort of way. You know, please, like, take it down or some shit like that. You know, I'd ask nicely instead of being all confrontational about it. And my reasoning behind something like that, and instead of having, like, to copyright or some shit like that, because that seems like the bitch way of doing things, I'd much rather just be like, hey, could you take down this video and or edit it to where it's not showing too much of my video? You know, I'm going to be honest, I'd be more of a nice guy about it.
Because honestly, if you just do it more civil like say,
it wouldn't have gone as bad as
like say, hey, I don't want this to be on, like, can you please not, like, or could just straight up say, hey, I don't want this being used on, this being shown on other channels other than mine. Fine.
Exactly. You could be more nice about it and not have this fucking backlash to go with it. But again, people prefer Risperdal to reason. And that's why I'm laughing at this guy who's basically just losing everything. Because at the end of the day, he basically brought it on himself. Not Mischief.
On himself. He's just
not Mischief. Not freaking Actman. Not, you know, Review Tech USA. I disagree with Review Tech on a lot of things. I also think he has the IQ of basically room temperature Alaska. And I'm not saying that to be a dick. I'm saying that because I just genuinely don't like the guy. I'm gonna be honest. The guy to me is just like, his opinions are really just meh. And agreeing with Vosh, that to me is just like, obviously your allegiances lie with somebody who's a complete and total idiot. And a disingenuous one at that.
honestly, things just...
And I honestly just see a lot of these things as just petty fucking lack of discourse. Like, if you really want to talk about how people are in the Elden Ring community, or hell, even the Souls community, are being toxic, there are ways of doing it without sounding like a complete and total hypocrite.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just... excuse me. That's like opening the floodgate whenever there's a flood going on.
That's like bursting the dam open when you're trying to keep, like, a hydroelectric dam even.
Yeah. It's like...
Or that's like trying to burn down Rome with a freaking match and candles.
Or better yet, it's like trying to put out the fire that's excuse me for 1 second.
Go ahead.
Lay down, bud. Yeah. Let's do you, bud. Go ahead and lay down.
And I don't hate the guy. I really think that this was basically just him trying to protect his fucking ego. But it's starting to become more and more just like, I really cannot stand people like him. And people want to consider him like Leafy and shit. No, Leafy wouldn't blatantly abuse copyright. He'd actively call out shit like this.
Yeah. What?
But I also think that because of, people basically blatantly thinking that it's a good idea to ban shit like Leafy.
You want out?
Leaves guys like this to basically just replace him.
Yeah. What's up? Michael, can I ask you something in DM?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah, I'll invite you if you want. Or okay with that?
I
Oh. But what are you doing over there? Good. Yeah. Shakespeare, what are you doing? Yes, hello to you too, but go ahead and lay down.
Super kill. Where some of the biggest YouTubers and Twitch streamers are aware of your bullshit now too.
I'll be looking into sharing Quantum's abuse of the copyright system with important people at YouTube, as this is something that can lead to the termination of your channel. And I responded and I said to him, imagine having a take on Elden Ring that's literally so bad that you end up getting banned for it. That's too fucking bad, isn't it?
Let the stupid have nice things.
That is just too fucking bad. Wow.
Review Tech USA was one of the next people to cover Quantum's hot takes.
I'm just going to start off by saying there has been a lot of controversy created by specifically Review Tech USA.
Now, Rich's videos discussed the bad Elden Ring takes, but also highlighted that Quantum TV's been evading a previous ban on YouTube. Take that! A ban for hate speech.
Did I mention 6,752 times that he's ban evading?
Objection. How is a previous ban relevant? Objection. Because it's against terms of service. Rich has provided ample evidence of bigoted, hateful, downright disgusting posts from Quantum across his Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Some of this evidence also came from the TV community, which apparently from my DMs is also sick of his shit.
And this is not cancel culture. This is not. This is someone being held accountable for their horrible, horrible actions that they did over and over and over and over again.
Now, Rich isn't going after Quantum's past because of cancel culture, right? This is to further establish the legitimacy of your previous channel's ban, Quantum, and therefore justify a ban for your current one. In a response to a picture of two people kissing in a church, he wrote, "Too bad you weren't a Pulse victim," in reference to the Pulse nightclub shooting, an incident at a gay bar where 47 people were killed. Get this piece of trash off of YouTube.
Isn't it funny when people try to call you a bigot and a homophobe when they're literally exactly what they're trying to accuse you of?
Oh, I'm gonna go with my white beard.
Literally, look at what you're doing. It's Rich watching you try to paint me as some sort of bigot, as you literally are one.
He put up very, very hateful things towards the LGBTQ.
Jurassic?
Yeah.
You sent me an invite, right? But, maybe we'll continue this topic tomorrow when we're actually up and awake and whatnot.
Yeah. Let's...
So,
we can continue this topic tomorrow.
Without further ado, I hope you guys like this incoherent rambling of two people in a what could be what is considered a podcast, but we don't fucking, we're a bunch of fucking morons.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyways, for those that are new, please subscribe and all this other, all this other YouTube formality bullshit. And we'll see you all, and I will start VoidCast episode 3, continuing on this topic tomorrow.
And
I thank you for joining us on this episode of Complete and Utter Stupidity and Dumb Takes. And I will see you all tomorrow.